Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld. And this program is about a spiritual revolution that's happening in this country and around the world. And that means there's a higher level of consciousness that we are evolving into, and people are learning a deeper understanding of who they are as not just emotional beings, but as beings connected to higher levels of consciousness, to a spiritual level of consciousness, which means we exist beyond just this material world. So tonight's guest is someone who works on that level to bring in this higher connection for people. Her name is Julia Mikk, and she does something called the Breath of Love. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you, Alan.
And I did a great session of Julia's work today, and what I felt in your session was that it was through the breath, and I felt as if I let go of the personality and was able to tap into the part of me that's each one in a sense. How would you describe your work?
Exactly.
Well,
just like you said right now, it's truly about letting go of that aspect of us. And not maybe letting go because we want to get rid of it, but just realizing that's not the only aspect of us. And we have other realms, other realities, other aspects of us that are totally accessible for us. And a lot of them are eternal and are filled with total love and freedom and clarity. You know, clarity about one's life purpose or reason for being on the planet now. It's just so fulfilling to know the deeper understanding of yourself.
well, there is so much more to us than what we've been conditioned to think we are. I mean, on a psychological, emotional level, you know, we're so much more developed and expanded than just that. That's just a box that we put ourselves into. Of course, it's a bigger box than what people considered themselves before there was an understanding of psychology. So now we're expanding that to include more of who we are. And of course, it's what a lot of teachings were about, a lot of the ancient mystical teachings. But now we're coming to a place in our culture where it's all coming together. And I think it's really important with your work that it comes more public. How did you get into this understanding of what you're doing with people?
Well, I've had interesting experiences since childhood.
Tell
like
me.
My Kundalini awakened around, I guess, when I was 4 years old.
Well, what does that mean, your Kundalini?
That means that I just entered an orgasm and it felt very good. And I didn't know what was going on.
At 4 years old?
Well, I didn't know what it was. I just knew it felt good. And of course, I was so excited to tell my mom. I was like, Mom, look. And basically what it did, I just did something energetically within myself to allow it to happen. But my mom, of course, freaked out. She was like, oh my God. I'm like, well, maybe I was 5 years old. I don't know exactly how old I was, but my mom was just so freaked out about that.
It wasn't a sexual thing, or what?
No, it was just me, and I was like sitting on the bed. I still remember that, and all of a sudden, and then I went into this place of, oh my God, it feels so good. Everything is so good, and it's so much pleasure, and this was just one of the things, you know, I talked to angels. At that time, of course, I didn't know it was angels. I just had guides, and I just talked to maybe imaginary friends, whatever you want to call them. But they guided me really beautifully and wisely. Literally after my Kundalini awakened really big, my mom started wanting to fix me. So she started taking me to all kinds of...
She thought there was something wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't fit the model, you know, the normal social model, and I wasn't like other people.
Well, getting back to the Kundalini...
I think we all have it. I don't think I'm in that way like that special, especially when we are children.
But you had an awakening there at 4 years old, which is really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so your mother tried to fix you and send you to, thought you were crazy or something?
Well, not crazy, but she just wanted me to be normal, you know, like just be like others, and so to be accepted by others, and that's the whole thing. At least the old paradigm has been all about trying to be accepted, trying to be loved and approved by other people, and I have been learning a lot about letting go of that, you know, fear of disapproval, and just how to be me and fully love myself and honor myself as I am, because when I have so much love for myself, that's when I can overflow it for all creation. That's really the only time I can overflow it with no end for all creation.
That's beautiful, because in your sessions, there is a lot of love that comes through.
Yeah.
But getting back to your story, because I think really interesting, this awakening opened something up where you were connected, or came through this connection. And then how did that evolve into your working with other people? Because this is what you're doing now.
Yeah, well, let me see, how can I shorten it up? Well, in a way, my mom started taking me to all kinds of doctors and psychologists and psychics. And interestingly enough, she took me to psychics and clairvoyant people who tried to help me, but by spending so much time with them, I started realizing how much more I'm capable of, and anyone is capable of, on a psychic level, empathic level, intuitive level. And it just started really igniting this passion for what am I really for and what's my true potential. And I had this strong, strong feeling that there's something bigger, like there must be something bigger. And I remember I asked Mom, like, oh my God, I'm so excited, Mom. There's something bigger here, right? I'm here to do something important. What is it? And my mom was like, well, have kids and pay taxes. And it was such a dramatic experience for me when she said that. I was like, can't be, no, can't be. So
she didn't get it.
Well, she loved me so much. She still loves me so much, and I'm so blessed to have a mother like this. And she just wasn't connected to that kind of feeling as I had about life.
But let's talk about this big thing that is here, seems to be happening, that we're here for. What do you see? I mean,
lately, the word that has been coming to me, it's so interesting. It came to me after having a conversation with a good friend of mine. It's a colon cleanse. It's like a global colon cleanse, because it's a good thing. Enema, yeah.
Is that what it's coming to the planet?
Yeah, and there's so many ways to say it. It's just a funny way to explain it, because it's like a detox. It's a detox of history and karma and everything that has happened throughout all our lifetimes and throughout all the dimensions. And everything that's now in the way to our total self-realization is being cleansed away.
Well, I feel it's a big, we're in a time where these ideas are not something that should be kept in the closet, These awakenings that people are having. This is why I do the program, so people can share this higher level of who we are. And then we're sort of all moving into the unknown together.
Yeah.
We're moving into a new realm and new possibilities. I mean, 2012, I know we're going to do a talk on 2012 together, because I studied a lot of the history of 2012 and how this is really in alignment with an understanding of us being galactic beings, We move from like the family unit to the local, to the community, to the state, to the country, to the planet. But now the Earth is moving beyond, and the people of the Earth are moving to an awareness beyond just their Earth.
Yeah.
We're moving galactic awareness, and that's what I really feel the 2012 idea is all about. So how can we bring this work, because you're working with people as they spiritually unfold, to new possibilities. And so your work is one-on-one, but I want to understand how we can bring this together. So the work with individuals and this global awareness. How do you see that coming together?
Well, and the work with the groups too, just to mention right away. But it's really, it starts with each one of us. It starts with each individual, because the work we do within ourselves, the vibration we create and open to within ourselves creates this wave, and the wave goes out to everyone else around us. So it's really and I'm watching especially people who are studying with me long term and they're more into advanced training with me, they create such a beautiful vibration frequency of love and clarity about their purpose and self-confidence that wherever they are, they create incredible healing and ease just by being themselves.
Well, let's talk about then your work. Okay, let's go into the specifics, because let's talk about how these are activated. So I know we did breath work, we did connected breathing, and I felt that vibration running through my hands, and I felt really connected to something beyond the personality. But what else happens in your work?
It's one of the topics. Describe it. It's really interesting. But
Go
okay, I'll do
into
my best. We are really developing tools and skills more than anything else. We are really the part of people that is still holding on to the old paradigm, to the old reality, to the old way they're perceiving themselves in the world and the conclusions they have made about themselves in the world. And one way we're doing it is I am watching them in the session, and
they're doing a breathing thing, and you're coaching them to look at their old way of thinking.
well, it's not verbal. It's more like through the breath and relaxation and energy work, and it's very subtle. So that's why to talk about it, see, mental mind is a very gross entity, and the mental mind holds gross vibration. So with this gross vibration, it's almost impossible to realize the subtleties of any kind of work beyond the mind. So that's one thing I have noticed with people a lot lately. That there's so much beautiful theory out there and so many beautiful concepts out there about even 2012. But to really experience them, one needs to go beyond theory and beyond the mind and forget. I actually ask my clients to forget everything they know, so they can step into something completely different and the unknown, as you mentioned. And from that unknown, they'll have the direct experience.
So the breath is one way, this connected breathing, but then you do other levels of that, right?
Yeah, well, I hold space for the shamanic multidimensional space pretty much to take care of them. And I'm in a way like a gatekeeper, so I just help gate to open so they feel safe to come through into this new frequency of the unknown. Because one of the things that our mind, as you know, and subconscious mind are most afraid of is the unknown. And to get them out of the familiar and comfortable and trust the unknown, that's the tricky part.
Well, you know, when I went into that state today, it was so peaceful, it was so blissful to be in that state in a way of not knowing, of just peace, because the mind can then relax.
Yeah.
And the mind doesn't have to be working. It's just like everything just is what it is. And that's comforting.
And everything works out in that space. Like when it comes to life and everyday reality, when you're out of the way, when your mind is out of the way, it's amazing how magically things work out.
I know, it's great.
Like,
are you in that space a lot? Do you find
a lot. I mean, I'm expanding into it day by day. It's one thing I have definitely learned about expansion and self-realization, that it's a never-ending journey.
Of course.
So it's a beautiful thing.
I think at some point we just embody it. Like I noticed when you were holding that energy during the session, it was like a divine other presence. Do you tap into that energy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by
yeah,
that?
Definitely.
Tell me what you feel in that space of the divine. Because I think that's an idea people throw around, but it's an embodiment, you know? How would you define the mother divine energy?
It's this total knowing, total and complete knowing that I'm taken care of, and the whole creation and the whole universe wants to take care of me and wants me to be happy and wants me to be, abundant, and it always works in my best interest. The only time when I'm not able to fully receive it is when I'm in the way and I have my own agenda about how things should be.
Right.
That's the only time when it's hard to receive this incredible care. And on every level. Like for instance, just to ground it into specific realities, just when I was actually flying to New York, I woke up at 5:30. I think I woke up a little later than I was supposed to, so I was about to miss the plane. But during that night and during that evening prior to flying to New York, I did a lot of meditating and I did a lot of deep work on myself, just opening even deeper into the divine love. And I really cried most of this time because there was nothing else I could do with this beauty that was flowing through. It was just such incredible love. And I was driving to the airport and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. And all of a sudden I receive a call from the airline saying that, Julia, Mikk, yes, our flight is late. Our flight is half an hour late, and please, please forgive us, and you still will be able to make the flight. And it was such an amazing confirmation that things always work out. And then I actually with the traffic got really slow, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it, even though the flight is late. I got to the airport, and the flight was postponed to the whole other flight, and you know.
So you're saying the more we can drop into this place of trust and peace, everything works out. And
Actually, the funny thing is, well, it hasn't happened much, but I was just so amused to see that after going into this deep, deep space of love, and I've really deepened into a whole new place of receiving love and giving love, my car that had problem with brakes got healed. That's what I called
your
healed.
car got healed.
Car got healed. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. All I have to do is to open so deep into this place of total just blessedness, and my car gets fixed. I could not believe my own eyes. I was like, wow,
there
that's
is a place of miracles that happen in that space.
all the time, so much. And miracles really, they really are natural state of being. You know, miracles are not something that is separate from us. Like when we truly surrender to this aspect of us that's beyond our limited analytical mind, miracles happen all the time in everything.
I'm being that all the time. I mean, that's the space. I mean, I guess it is just the mind that's been so conditioned and so trained to want to be in control that it's hard to let go of that control and just let things happen.
Yeah.
And that's a much higher level of living. This is the enlightened state. You know, this is where all the great spiritual teachings are telling people to move towards that.
Yeah.
You know, and we're really so close to it. I think we're actually much closer now than we've ever been as a collective consciousness, because we have all this access to the world's knowledge, and this information is now out there. Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie, Deepak Chopra. This is mainstream knowledge. So we're really close to a total shift and a planetary awakening. That's what I feel. And that's what I think 2012 is about. If it's anything, and who knows, it's all fabricated, these dates. But I think it's important what you're doing, and I can see this is your work, this is your life. It's not just something you do 9 to 5, right? You're working on people for you, so you can be in that space, so you can be reminded of that space of pure love. That's what I get about you.
Yeah, this is the only reason I came to be on this planet, this lifetime, definitely. To help people to become the embodiment of that
and for you
frequency
to be the
of love.
embodiment of that.
And for me to expand more and more into that. Yeah,
right.
That's very true. Very true.
So you're going to be doing a workshop in New York?
I'll be doing one in March, mid-March.
What is the workshop about?
It's called The Next Level of Liberation, and it's a weekend immersion. It's even explaining that is just it takes me immediately beyond my mind. So
well,
finding
good. No,
words
go
for that
beyond
place.
your mind so we could like get that download of.
It's truly a life-changing journey. So people who come to my immersions, the acceleration of the spiritual growth and the embodiment of their soul is so quick that they really leave the immersion being totally in touch with who they are as a soul, their purpose, and they have such deep love for themselves, appreciation for themselves. Like I find a lot of people, at least who come to me, they might have a lot of spiritual knowledge, but there's still like a little nagging voice on the back of the head. And when it comes to embodying love, they don't exactly know how to get out of the way.
So that's really the key, I think, for spiritual liberation, is embodying love.
Yeah, not just thinking about it and knowing about it.
But what tools do you give people to help with that embodiment?
You know, one of the first things I was just thinking when you talked about letting go of control, like really when people ask me what to do, how do you let go of control? How do you surrender? How do you let the divine flow through me fully? One of the most powerful ways, in my opinion, is to allow yourself to be afraid of letting go of control.
So let yourself feel the fear of it.
Yeah.
Be in
in
that space.
Because as long as you don't want to be afraid of that letting go of control, you will try to escape the fear and stay in control no matter what.
So it's acknowledging, hey, I got some fear of letting go of control.
And feeling it. It's like
feeling it. Okay. And so once you get that, that piece, then okay, this is what is, and then you think let go is easier with once that.
The letting go happens only when you feel.
Mm.
For any letting go to happen, for any energy to let go, you have to first give your attention to that fear or pain or anger, whatever you're holding on to. As long as you try to push it away and get rid of it, you push it only deeper into your subconscious, and it sticks to you only harder.
So we have so much buried in our subconscious. That's the thing that we're trying to pull out of us. What's in our way for this liberation? So we're a work in progress as we evolve collectively. So what do you see then happening on a collective level to all of us? I mean, where are we going collectively that you see?
We are going into this place of letting go of control, and we are learning about it. And some people learn about it faster. They've really learned to surrender to the divine, surrender to life, and trust life faster. So the whole journey becomes easier for them. And this access into the new reality becomes very joyous and full of celebration and bliss for them. But some people are really trying to hold on to their way they think things should go. You know.
So you think as we wake up collectively, the planet will be in this state of consciousness? You think it's possible to live that way?
I feel planet already is in that state of consciousness. It's the humanity that's still trying to catch up.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean the humanity. I mean the planet, of course, is ongoing. But humanity's consciousness, could we live, and I think we can, collectively in that state of pure love?
Totally. And
people say that's so idealistic, but I think it's a vision of what's possible.
But we already are living in that state.
Some of us.
On one, how to say, there's this dimension right now. We can call it, physical dimension. But there is a dimension where we already are living in total love with each other, and total ease and total abundance at all times. And it's just a matter of learning to kind of make the link. Like, just learning to use our attention, learning to channel our energy in a certain way. And it's a skill, it's a new skill to practice, of course, to link to this new place so we can access it.
Well, do you ever get stuck in the human drama, things about relationships, and then, I mean, do you ever fall back into those patterns?
Yes, less and less. I definitely feel that I can see myself falling back, and that's the number one thing, that I can stay aware and conscious that, oh, look, I'm doing this. Oh, but by me staying aware and conscious of it happening, I can choose. I can consciously, freely choose to not get trapped into some kind of that habit or tendency that I have had for lifetimes.
So the key is to actually see, if you can, like, oh, I'm going to a pattern there. And when you see that, it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to go into that pattern there.
Yeah, and it's really important to be connected to your body and really be aware of yourself. So many people spend a lot of time out of the body trying to access other higher realms, but the only way to know what's happening inside of you is you really need to be able to feel, have courage to feel. Like if I have resistance towards anger, I keep pushing it away. How can I be aware when anger even arises? It starts arising.
Right.
I'm not even conscious enough to choose there because it's so subconscious. I've pushed it away for such a long time that I can't even work with it. So it's so important for us to learn to feel.
So you have to keep polishing your own bowl, as they say in Buddhism.
Yeah.
You have to keep looking at your own reflective behavior. As stuff comes up for us, me, then I have to say, oh, what's coming up? How is that? What am I feeling? It's getting in touch with what we're feeling, being more sensitive to who we are.
And then being loving towards that feeling. Embrace that feeling. Embrace every part of you just as it is.
So if we're getting a little uptight about something, we say, oh, I'm going to not push that away. I'm not going to ignore it or try to override it. Just, oh, there's that feeling, and loving the feeling.
Yeah, I can relax into that feeling. It's just energy that wants to flow. If it's an uncomfortable energy, the only reason why it's uncomfortable, the single reason, is because you're resisting it. That's the only reason why pain is ever there.
Because of the resistance.
Because you're resisting it. So this courage to feel, allowing it to be there or flow or expand, whatever it wants to, is this ultimate surrender to divine or to life. Knowing
life is that divine.
Yeah, every aspect of every feeling of my life is divine. Everything is made from the same source.
Right.
There's no difference.
Thank you for feeding us this knowledge, and you're from your own experience, because it is sort of the universal message. This is the true religion. There's no, dogma that can replace just this basic human feeling of the evolution of our beingness.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're going to be doing a talk together, me and Julia, on January 15th. At what place are we doing it on? Well, you could check my website, newrealities.com, for information about January 15th. We'll be talking about the 2012 event that's coming up, December 21st, 2012, which is the end of the Mayan calendar, which is a transformation of, I feel, a mind shift from going from living in this old paradigm to something that is the unknown, but is a much more higher level of thinking. That's what I feel and feeling.
Yeah. And my purpose in that event and overall in life is to really give specific tools and skills to be able to become this channel for love, and self-love and self-confidence and blessedness to come through, because I feel it's already there's enough of knowledge, but people really are craving for the how-to, so how do you get out of the way? How do you surrender?
That is so important, because, the more tools people have, I think the easier it will be to make their lives.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, love.
I've been talking to Julia Mikk. Your website is?
breathoflove.org.
breathoflove.org. I'm Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. Email me at newrealities@earthlink.net and check my website, newrealities.com.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks.